Everyone, this is Colleen with YarnWars.com, and today we are working on the bucket hat walkthrough. This is a full pattern tutorial for this. Basically, just to give you a quick, my son likes to wear the bucket hats to the skate park, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to try to recreate a bucket hat myself in crochet and see how it turned out. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's hard to tell here, but it looks very similar on his head. And that's the one thing I need to do is hide in that tail. So we're going to get started pretty quick here. I just want to go over a few things. For this particular hat, I used the Red Heart Super Saver stripes, and this color is Parrot stripe. As you can see, it pulled in a lot more, like a lot of purple and all different colors here. It's just like fun, almost tie-dye-ish kind of looking, if that's a word. And today's I'm going to be working with another Super Saver stripes, but this one is going to be it's called Favorite Stripe, so that's an exciting name for it. But Favorite Stripes, so this is going to be very bright, I'm assuming, by the time we're done with it. And this suggests, this is a 4-weight yarn, and it does suggest that we use an H-hook with this. However, for this, we are going to be using a J-hook. Okay, so you're going to want your yarn, you're going to want your J-hook, and this is for an adult size beanie, this walkthrough. You'll want just a blunt needle of whatever size to hide in tails, a pair of scissors, and you're going to want a tape measure because you want to measure and make sure that you're on track for whatever, for the size that you're making. And I'm going to have different sizes in the written pattern, but for this walkthrough, we are just doing an adult size hat. So we'll go ahead and get started on this. The first thing we're going to do, we are going to make either a magic circle, or an alternative to that is chain 4 and join with a slip stitch to the first chain. I am going to do the chain method. I will quickly show you the magic circle if you're not familiar with that. There are several ways to do the magic circle, but it's actually a pretty simple process. You just take 2 fingers, wrap your yarn around once, and then around twice, crossing over the second time. We're going to take our hook and come up right in between that crossover, and we're going to pull this yarn through, twist our hook up. So we've got a little loop going there. So we're going to come over here, grab this yarn, and pull it through that loop. We've created a magic circle. And to just give you a quick rundown, if I was working this magic circle, we start this pattern off with a chain 2. Let me get this tail out of my way. We start this pattern with a chain 2. And then we work 10 half double crochets into our magic circle. So we would actually work straight into this circle. We would just yarn over, pull through, and pull through all 3. And we would work all of our first stitches, or for our first round, we would work them all within this magic circle. The nice thing about the magic circle is when you get to the end, you could take your tail and you could pull it however tight you need it to close that off. But again, I am not going to do this route. I am going to go the chain method, and the reason I'm doing the chain method is I feel like I just feel like I'm getting a more secure lock on that start. It just feels like it's going to be more secure. I got a knot in this yarn, so I'm going to just cut that real quick, get that annoyance out of the way. So what I'm going to do instead of the magic circle, and either one is going to work fine for you, I just prefer doing the chaining right now, is I'm going to start with a slip knot. Grab all my yarn for that slip knot. And I'm going to start by chaining 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm going to join into that first chain with a slip stitch. So we're going to join, and you'll see here's the center that we're going to be working into. So we're going to join with a slip stitch right there. So everything we work into is going to be right within this circle. So we're going to start by chaining 2, and we're going to work into this circle. We're going to work 10 half double crochets. Yarn over into that loop, yarn over, pull through. You'll have 3 on your hook, and you'll pull through all 3 of those for your first half double crochet. And we'll do 9 more of those in this circle. So this pattern is going to be worked in increments of 10. We will not be using that chain up in the beginning of each round as a stitch. It will not be worked or counted as a stitch. So we're going to actually work 10 half double crochets right into the circle. And I've lost count, so I'll see real quick. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we're going to join to the top of this first half double crochet stitch that we made. So here's our chain, here's the half double crochet, and this is where we're going to join right into this, into the top of that. If I can get into the correct loops. There we go. Okay, so as with the magic circle, you can take your tail at this point in the middle, pull that in the center, and then you'll be able to close this off by working your tail in the end to hide it. You just work it into the center. From here, we're going to go ahead on to round 2, where we're going to chain 2. We're going to start by working 1 half double crochet. Actually, in this next round, we're going to work 2 half double crochets into that same starting chain space. So we're going to come into this same space as our starting chain, and we're going to pull up, and we're going to work 2 half double crochets into that same space. Round 2 is a full increase round, so we're actually going to work 2 half double crochets into each stitch around, and that will give us a total at the end of 20 stitches after we've worked round 2. So go ahead and continue, just work 2 half double crochets into each stitch around. And we will meet up at the very end of this round. We're coming into the end of our round 2. We're going to go ahead and work our last 2 half double crochets into this last space or last stitch, and we're going to join to the top of that first half double crochet right there with a slip stitch. And here we are at this point. Moving on to round 3, we're going to chain 2. Okay, so to start this round, we're going to work 1 half double crochet into that same chain space, right into this. We're just going to work 1 half double crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to increase with 2 half double crochets. Then 1 half double. Then 2 half double. So in this round, we're going to work an increase in every other stitch. We'll work one half double, and then we'll work two half doubles in the same one. And we'll do this all the way around. So I just worked an increase of two half double in one. We'll work one half double in the next, then two half double, then one half double, two half double, and continue that around until we get to the end. I will meet you right at the end of round 3. So we're coming into the end of round 3. Round 3, you are going to end with an increase because we started with just one half double crochet into that first starting chain. So we want this to be continuous around. We will have, we just worked two half double crochet, we just worked an increase in this stitch, and then we're going to work one half double into the next, and we will work two half double crochets into that last stitch, giving us a total of 30 stitches at the end of round 3. And then we are going to join, of course, to the top of this first half double crochet with a slip stitch. Okay, and this is where we're at here. Our next round, round 4, we will start by chaining 2. I'm going to move this a little bit. Okay, so for this next round, we're going to start by working one half double into this starting chain space right there. Just one. And then we're going to work one half double crochet into our next stitch. Into our next stitch, we're going to work our increase of two half double crochets. So we'll work in the next one, we'll work one half double, and then one half double. Oops. And then two half double. One half double, one half double, and two half double. And continue this pattern around until we reach the end. I will meet you up at the last couple of stitches here at the end so that we can finish off round 4. Coming into the end of round 4, we just finished an increase, and to finish this off, we're going to work one half double in the next one, one half double in the next stitch, and then an increase, two half double in this next stitch. And at the end of round 4, you're going to have a total of 40 stitches. So here's our half double crochet, our beginning, and we are going to join with a slip stitch to the top of that half double crochet. So here we are so far. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to round 5, and you've probably already picked up on what we're doing pattern-wise now for the top of this hat. And what we're doing is working the crown of the hat right now. So this section, the top part of the hat, is the part that we're working. And on this hat, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds on the top. So we're starting on round 5. And we will chain 2 to begin. We're going to work one half double crochet into that starting chain space. And then we're going to work one half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. And then we'll work an increase of 2 half double crochets in the next. So in the last round, we worked an increase after 2 single stitches. This time it will be after 3 single stitches. So next we're going to work one half double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. So 1 and 2 and 3. And then we're going to work 2 half double crochets into this next one. So this is our new pattern. It's pretty simple, what we're going to be doing from here on out for a little ways, but basically what you're going to do now is you're going to work 1 half double crochet each of the next 3, and then 2 half double crochets into this next one. 1 half double crochet into each of the next 3, then an increase of 2 half double in this one. 1 half double in each of the next 3, then 2 half double in the next one, and continue that around till you get about here in the last couple stitches. I'll pop back in and we'll finish off working into the end of our round 5. And at the end of this round, we got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the end of round 5, we're going to have a total of 50 stitches. So the last one I worked was my increase of 2 half double crochets in that last one. So I'm going to go to 1 half double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And I will end with 2 half double crochets or an increase in this last stitch here, again giving me a total of 50. Do a quick count if you need to make sure that you're on track, and then we'll just join to this top of this first half double crochet. So here we are after round 5. So actually I believe it's 7 rounds that we go. I want to say we go to round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, actually 8. I believe we do 80 total. And if you need to make this slight bit shorter or smaller, then you're going to want to go back to 70 on this. This actually, I've got, my kids have big heads. So actually, for this particular hat, do it quick. Measure on the top. We're at about 7 inches, so that's about right. And this top part is it's not supposed to fit real snug, but it should fit nicely. Because I'm going to make sure to put the measurements for hat sizes in the written pattern. So when you're making this, you know where to stop, and that's why you want your measuring tape for this. You want to make sure that you're getting the right measurement for the top, because that's going to be the size that you end up having at the end. So we're going to go ahead and move on to round 6. Like I said, at the end of round 5, we will have a total of 50 stitches. So for round 6, we're going to chain 2. We're going to work 1 half double crochet into that same chain space. And remember, the purpose for this is this chain is not going to be counted as a stitch. So that's why we're putting one into that same chain space. Now we're going to work 1 half double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches before our next increase. All right. It will let me. And there's 2 and 3. So there's a total of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 singles. And then an increase. So you just want to remember, for this round, you're going to have 1 half double crochet in 4 before you do an increase. So to move on, we just did an increase. We're going to work 1 half double crochet in the next stitch. We're going to work 1 half double crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to work 1 half double crochet. And the next stitch we'll work 1 half double crochet. So that's a total of 4. Let's see, there's our double. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 single half double crochet stitches, and then we'll work our increase of 2 half double crochets into the next. So this is our new pattern. We're going to work 1 half double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to work an increase. So we'll work an increase after every 4. Okay, so go ahead and continue that pattern. We just did an increase. Remember, you're going to work 1 half double crochet into each of the next 4 and then an increase. 1 half double crochet in each of the next 4, then an increase. And you're going to continue that around to the end. As with all of our other rows, we're going to end with our increase, and we'll have a total of 60 at the end of round 6. So I will meet you right up here at the last couple of stitches to finish off. Into the end of round 6, we are at our last few stitches here. We just ended with our increase here, and now we're going to work 1 half double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches, and then we'll increase for our last stitch with 2 half double crochets in that last stitch. So 1 half double crochet, 1, 1, and this is our 4th, 1, and then we'll put 2 into this last one for a total of 60 stitches. We'll end this round with a slip stitch to the top of our first half double crochet made and move on to round 7. So here's where you're at, and your circle should lay flat for this because the top of the bucket hat is a flat. I'll give a quick example here. This is hard to see with this, but here is the bucket hat. Let's see if I can get this better visual. And most of you probably already know what a bucket hat is if you're working up this pattern. You've been probably wanting to make a bucket hat. So it's just a flat top, so we want to try to keep it flat for the top portion, our crown portion of the hat. So starting round 7 is going to be just a jump up from round 6. We're doing the same thing as we have for every round. We're just bumping it up 1 stitch. So we'll work 1 half double crochet into that first chain space, as always. And then we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. So that gives us 5 with that first one we did there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have our 5th one right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll make an increase here. As you probably have figured already, at the end of this round, round 7, we're going to have a total of 70 stitches, working in 10s. So we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 5. And then we'll increase into our next stitch. Okay, so this is our new pattern. 1 half double crochet into each of the next 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then increase of 2 half double crochets into the next. And continue on. We'll work 1 half double crochet into each of the next 5, then an increase, 2 half double crochet. Then 1 half double crochet in each of the next 5, then an increase. And we'll go all the way around till we reach this part here. In the last few stitches here, we will join back up for the end of this round, row 7. Okay, so we're coming into the end of round 7. We're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 5, and then we'll finish with an increase in our last. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we'll increase right here in the end. 2 half double crochets in that last stitch right there, and then we're going to join to the top of our first half double crochet. So you can measure this at this point, see where you're at, because this is the measurement of the hat is going to be the same from the top, crown, down, because this is pretty much just like a cylinder right around this area. So I know that I'm going to want one more round to make this measure right. And you just kind of have to figure it out for yourself. At this point, I'm at 6 inches. So I'm going to go one more myself. Obviously, there's a little more stretch to a crochet hat. So you do have that to take into consideration as well. But we're going to go ahead and chain 2. If you're moving on from there, work 1 half double crochet into this same chain space as we have been. And then we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 5. So we're going to have a total of 6 singles before our increase. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we'll work 2 half double crochets into this next one. So this is going to be our new pattern. We're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to go ahead and increase in that last one with 2 half double crochets. One half double crochet in each of the next 6, and continue this around until we reach the last few stitches again. We will join up and complete the end of round 8. So at the end of this round, we're going to have 80 stitches total around, and we will end again. Make sure you're ending with an increase with your 2 half double crochets. I will meet you actually right about here if you want to go ahead and unpause the video when you get to the end, and we will finish up. We're just coming into the end of our round 8, and we're going to work our 1 half double crochet in each of the last 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we'll have one more stitch left. We will work our increase. So 2 half double crochets into that last stitch for a total of 80 stitches, joining with our first half double crochet, a slip stitch. I am stopping at this round. So if you are making for an even bigger head, then you need to work maybe another round of this. But at this point, I am at approximately 7 inches, pretty close to 7 inches. So I'm going to end this here because that is the size of my other one. And we're going to start working down from here to our lower portion here. So if you're not finished yet, just pause this video. And if you are, we will go ahead and move on to round 9. So for round 9, I don't want to complicate things a lot here, but I did this a little differently than just, as you probably saw on that other hat, I did some back loop only. And I did not do it as a normal. Basically, what I did in this round, I'm going to go ahead and chain 1 and 2. And we will make our first stitch into this starting chain, but we're working the back loop only, along with the loop behind the back loop. So we're going to work a half double crochet. So what we're going to do is yarn over. We're going to go into this back loop. So this stitch right here, we're just going into the back loop only of that. So let's just do that part first. We'll scoop that loop. And then if you come back here to the back of the stitch, you see there's another, oh, sorry, I don't want to confuse this, but there is another loop right back here that we're going to grab as well. And this is going to be hard for me to do right in front of a camera because I'm trying to really point this out for you guys. But I'm just going to grab a... Okay, so we're going to grab these two for my first stitch. This is the starting chain. And this is the back loop. So the front loop is still going to be unworked. So when we're finished, we're going to work a half double crochet into these two loops, the back loop and the loop behind the back loop. And we're going to do the same all the way around. We're putting one half double crochet into each of these stitches. Let me get through this one stitch first because I kind of made that a complicated stitch, and it is a little more difficult on that starting chain for some reason. And that's, but it's not horribly difficult. You'll get it. So we've worked into that back one. So I should be able to show you painlessly in this one. The color is not so great for this, and I apologize. Let me see if I can go down in color at all. And I don't know if that's going to help. But we're going into our next stitch. So here's the front loop. We're going into the back loop of that stitch and the back loop behind that stitch. So we've got two loops on our hook still. And we'll continue around. Like I said, we're going to work, and it's really easy to do once you get started past that starting chain. It's really easy to grab those two loops, the back loop and the loop behind the back loop. So it's really easy to do once you get that starting chain down, because you're working basically a full stitch by working into the back. You're just, think of it as working your stitch on the back side, and then you'll get that. But as you see, that back loop is now no longer there. These loops are being worked into just like the other loops. So, and that's going to be probably a little tougher for me to convey. If you are just completely confused on that part, which, trust me, if you are, completely understand. But if you are just not getting that, what we're doing here, you can work simply into this back loop, and that will be the same. The only reason I'm working both of those is to give it a more secure. I don't like just working into the back loop itself. So I'm working into both. But if you need to, you could just work into this back loop instead of into both of those back loops. Okay? So continue this around. You're only going to work one stitch in every stitch around. And we will go ahead and meet up when we get down to the last portion of this. But this is what your project is going to be looking like. You're going to have this little ridge going around, which is kind of like starting us working down the cylinder, down the side of the hat. So I will meet you right up here at the last couple of stitches, and we'll finish this round off, round 9. It's very simple though. And pause your video so that you can go ahead and we can get caught up together. And when you unpause, we'll be over here. Okay, so we're coming into the end of round 9. And I just have a few stitches left. So we're just, remember, working the back 2 stitches. And like I said, once you start working it, it's just like you're working any other stitch. We'll work into this last one. So you will end with a total of 80 stitches because we've only been working 1 in each. And then we'll, like all the other rows, we'll join to the top of our half double crochet with a slip stitch. So you're not going to be able to tell real well how this is going, but this is already starting to curve downwards, and it's going to all pull down because from now to the brim for this section, we're going to be working the same number of stitches all the way down. So for this next round, we're going to do the same exact thing that we just did with this round. So if you were not enjoying this last round, we're going to do this one more time. So I do apologize, but this helps us to really get it going in the right direction. So we're going to work one more round of the back 2 loops. So we're going to chain 2. We're going to start by working that starting chain there. So we're going into this one right here and then back behind it. And this is going to be the toughest one for you to do. I promise you. This starting chain, because, well, especially in front of the camera. I'm going to come over here so I can see it. Give me a second. I need to... Okay, so I got into that. I'm sorry about that. That is a painful one. So it won't be as bad for you not sitting in front of a camera. But from the next ones, we're going to work the back 2 loops. Again, just work the back loop of your stitch plus the loop behind the back loop. Yarn over, go into both of those loops, back loop and the back loop. I have both of those. Yep, pull through and work both of those back loops. So you're going to do that all around, and I do apologize again. I am doing this through a camera, so I am basically doing my best to get through that stitch. So we're going to do this one more time. So you're going to have a total of 2 ledges around, and it looks like one I missed. Okay, so I'm going to come out because I see that I didn't grab that loop, and this is one of the difficulties of not looking straight at my work. So I'm going to come out of here because you can tell when you missed that loop. You only want the front loop showing. So we're going to come back here and grab our back 2 loops. And then you'll see when I get back to where I was just a second ago, where I'm at. And see, now you can see that each of those has been worked. Back 2 loops has been worked. And just continue this around. We'll go ahead and finish this round. Pause your video and finish up. When we get to the end of the round, we will move on to the next. This is round 10. Round 10. And we'll meet up right about here. So we're coming into the end here of round 10. And we're just working our back 2 loops to the end. I'm just getting to the last, or through the last 2 stitches, and then we're joining to that first half double crochet as always with a slip stitch. So now we have 2 areas with ridges. We have this and then we have this here, and we will now pick it up with round 11. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we are starting on the actual length of our hat. So there are 2 ridges there, and we've got from this area to this area to grow. And from here, this is very, very simple. We'll just be working 1 half double crochet into each stitch around. So if you measure approximately, I have in this area about 3. It's about 3 inches from my second ridge. So I'm growing it for that length. And this is where the actual brim of my hat starts. So for round 11, we're going to chain 2, and working into that same chain space, we're going to work 1 half double crochet, And then we're just working a regular half double crochet into every stitch around. So we're not going to work into certain loops, back loops, all of that. Looks like I'm trying to pick up more than I am here. We're not going to be doing anything out of the norm. We're simply going around and working one half double crochet into each stitch around. And at the end of this, you're going to have 80. So you'll have 80 for the next few rounds. And you're just going to work it around. I'm sorry, I'm coming out of the camera here. You're just going to work it around and around and around and get, let's see if I can that up a little bit. You're just going to work it the same for approximately, let's count this out here. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, approximately 8 rows of 80 before we actually start on the brim of our hat. So what you're going to want to do is just go around. I will meet you here for the end of round 11, but then I'm going to let you go on and complete the growing process of the rest of your hat to the height that you need it. And then we'll meet up when we're going to start the brim again. So pause the video and we'll meet up at the end of this round before going on. Coming into the end of my round 11 with one more stitch, I believe, to go. Yep, one more stitch, and then we join to the top of that first half double crochet. Like that. All right, so from here on, you are just working that same round. You're going to work it about, like I said, about 7 or 8 more times, depending on how long you need it, because it could be a little longer for some and maybe a little shorter for others. But this is approximately from the point that we're at, this stitch to the brim is approximately 3 inches. So you want to go ahead and work as many rows until you reach that approximate height or whatever height that you're going to need, length you're going to need for your hat. So go ahead and pause the video. Let's go ahead and work up the rows that we need to grow our hat, and we'll meet back here for the brim in just a little bit. Okay, so I finished growing my hat to the length I need it, and if you are working this up at the same size that I am, we're looking for approximately 3 inches from this second ridge here to the end, and that's what we're looking for on length. We should be at approximately 3 inches. So if we come over here to our ridge, down to here, you see we are right on target at 3 inches there. Perfect. So from here, we are working into the brim of our hat, which is right where we start here. It's kind of hard to notice, but this does come up in this area. And what we're going to be doing is working our front loops in our next round. So, just get situated here. For the brim, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to chain 2, and we're going to start working on the, like I said, the front loop only of our stitch. And most of you know what I'm talking about. For those who don't, we are going to be working, here's our stitches, and we would normally work into the full stitch right there. And we are just going to work into this section only, this front section of our stitch for this round. What we'll do is we'll start by working, and we're going to stick with our half double crochets. We're going to start in that first chain space again, front loop only. We're going to work a half double crochet. And we are going to work, at this point, what we're doing is we're growing this section out. So for the first round, we are only going to work one half double crochet in each front loop only. So we're not going to start increasing in this round, but we will be increasing from here to create that brim. So we're just working front loop only into each stitch, just the front loop. And you work that all around, front loop only. Go ahead and pause the video because this is going to take a little bit of time to get around at 80 stitches if you're working the adult hat. And then we will meet right back here on our last few stitches for front loop only. Remember, front loop only to this in this entire round. We're just coming into the end of this round, working our last couple of stitches here, front loop only, and that's our last one. And then we of course join to the top of our first half double crochet. So that starts our brim. Being in that front loop only, that's going to start bringing it forward. And that's the only one that we're going to do front loop only. But now we're going to start to increase again. If you remember back here, our last increase was with 6 single half double crochets. And I know that sounds confusing, but we worked one half double crochet in 6 stitches, and then an increase, and then two half double crochets in the following. So to increase this, we're going to just pick up from that last increase round. So you want to make sure that you have the correct number of stitches that you ended with to grow this. Sometimes it can get, a little confusing in some areas. Sometimes you can lose a stitch. So you just want to make sure, like right here, I want to make sure I have 80 stitches, which I've already counted, made sure, so that everything works out the way it's supposed to. Now we're working in both stitches, or in both loops. Again, just regular stitching. And we're going to chain 2 to start this round. So what we're going to do is start with that first chain space. We're going to work 1 half double crochet into that. And then we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 6, so that we have a total of 7 half double crochets in a row before our increase. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I started counting from that very first one that I made into the starting chain space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to make an increase of 2 half double crochets. Okay? So now we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 7. Again, we're going into that pattern now. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we're going to go ahead and work our increase of 2 half double crochets into the following stitch. Sorry about about that. I got a window open and I'm working right by it. So we're going to just repeat this round. This is an increase round. So what you're going to do is you're going to continue on from here. We'll work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 7, and then an increase with 2 half double crochets in 1 stitch. Then we'll work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 7, and then an increase. 1 half double crochet in each of the next 7, and then an increase. So I'm going to leave you and let you go ahead and pause the video, and we'll meet back up about here when we have, when we're just at our last repeat on this increase round. So go ahead and work that up, pause the video, and when we return, we'll be at the end of this round. Okay, so we are at the end of this increase round, and we're just working our last 7. So 1 half double crochet in each of the next 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oops, doesn't want to grab, 6, and 7, and then our last stitch is going to be that increase of 2 half double crochets. And then we will join, of course, with the top of our first half double crochet made. There we go. Okay, so here we are, and the next round is going to be another increase round. We are going to be working straight up from that, 8. We'll be doing 8 before our next increase. So this is probably one of the very simplest hats. I mean, other than a couple areas of loops. But this is a pretty simple hat all around. So we're going to start our next round by chaining 2. And then we're going to work, starting with this beginning chain, we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 8. Okay, so we're going to start with the starting chain, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then we will increase with 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. And then we're continuing this pattern around. We'll work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 8 stitches. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we will work an increase of 2 half double crochets in our next one. So you're going to continue this around, work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 8, and then an increase of 2 half double crochets. Continue that around, pause your video so that you can we can catch up with each other here, and I will meet you back on this end. So we are coming into the end of this section here. We just need to work our 1 half double crochet in each of the next 8, and then follow that with an increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and our last one we'll work 2 half double crochets into. And finishing with a join to the first half double crochet that we made. Okay. We will move on to our next increase, and you probably see our pattern by now. This time we are going to work our first, so now we're going into 9 half double crochets before our increase. So here's the interesting thing about this pattern, and it kind of ties everything back in together. We started this pattern with 10 stitches, 10 half double crochets in the middle of our magic circle. We will end this pattern with 10 half double crochets before our increase. So the next one we're working on is 9. We will chain 2 to begin our next round, and working into the first chain, or the starting chain first, we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 9 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Next, we're going to increase 2 half double crochets into our following stitch. So we're just going to work this pattern around. We're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 9 stitches, then increase with 2 half double crochets. 1 half double crochet in each, and then an increase. We're into each of the next 9 and then an increase. So we're going to continue that pattern around till we get to this side. Go ahead and pause your video, and we will meet back up here again to finish off this round. So we're coming into our last stitches, working 1 half double crochet in the next 9 stitches. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then our increase in our last stitch of 2 half double crochets. Sorry, I'm stitching so funny here. The yarn is messing with me, trying to pull it from the skein. So we're going to join to the top of our first half double crochet made to complete this round. At the end of this round, with our 9 increase, you should have a total of 110 stitches after this round. So we are working one more increase round. We will chain 2 and work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 10 stitches, starting with our beginning chain, and then we'll do an increase. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we will increase in our next stitch. Okay? So just to make sure I got these all in one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and increase. So this is our pattern for this round. You're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 10, and then an increase. And then 1 half double crochet in each of the next 10, and then an increase. All the way around, Go ahead and pause the video now, and we will meet up here at the end of this round so that we can finish up with this round and move on to the next. So we are coming into the end of this round. We are in the final stretch here. We just need to work our last 10, so 1 half double crochet in each of the next 10. Okay, I'm losing my spot here. In the very last part, losing my spot. And then in this last one here, we're going to work 2 half double crochets. Run our last increase. We'll join to the top of that first half double crochet that we made. And we have completed our last increase round. Okay. So I know it looks a little wavy right now. What we're going to do next is we are going to chain 2 and we are going to work 1 half double crochet around each stitch. We're not increasing. We're just working 1 row of half double crochets or 1 round of half double crochet only in 1 stitch. So you're not going to you're not going to work any increases in here. No 2 half double crochets in 1 stitch. We are strictly doing 1 half double crochet per stitch, but we will still begin with that starting chain. And you're just going to work around your entire project and get all of this part complete. And this is just going to help us round off some of the wavier parts, make it less wavy, and these wavy parts are right where we put our increases. So go ahead and just work 1 half double crochet into each stitch around. I will meet you in just the last couple of stitches at the end here, and we will finish up this hat because we are almost finished completely. Almost. See you in just a bit. We are coming to the end here. At the end of this round, we're going to have a total of 120 stitches. We're at 115. We just worked our 115th stitch. And there's 16, 17, 18, 19, and 120 stitches. And then we're going to connect to that, join to that first half double crochet made. And we are here. Oh my goodness, it looks almost Green Bay Packerish. Okay, so I'm sorry, I used to live in Wisconsin, but the last thing we're going to do, you can either finish here, be done with it, hide your tails, cut everything off, and and just wear it as is. How I finished off this one, I went ahead and did a slip stitch around the entire thing, just to kind of polish it up a little bit. It's not necessary for you to do that. I just kind of like how it turned out. So I am going to finish this off with 120 slip stitches. Yes, I am. As painful as that's going to be. So if you're working a round of slip stitches to border this off here, and you are a beginner, if you are not a beginner, you already know how to do all of this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just chain 1, and this time I'm not going to work into that beginning chain. I'm going to work right into this, not into the beginning chain space, but into the first stitch here, this next stitch. And I'm just going to insert my hook. Again, this is for beginners. I know that's if you've been crocheting, you know how to do slip stitching. So we're skipping that beginning chain right there, coming into this next chain, and we're going to yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And that's our first slip stitch. It's that simple. So we're going to go into our next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And there's our second slip stitch. And it's going to get, I'm actually literally looking through this camera as I go, but it's going to get a lot easier and quicker as you go along to finish this off. You're just going to go down the row if you're going to complete it this way. And again, you don't have to do this. You can leave it as it is. I just kind of like the way this looks. So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing this. And if you're working a slip stitch around, then go ahead and finish. And I'm going to meet at the end of this for just kind of a couple of side notes and to finish off this whole video tutorial. So I'll see you all in a bit. So I'm coming into the end of my slip stitching here. Just a couple left. And actually, we've completed this actually. Okay, sorry. Okay, so when I reach the end, and I'll know because I'll see that first slip stitch there. And what I want to do is complete this. How I will complete it is I will go into that last slip stitch right there, and it's going to be a little working into there. I'm going to grab that and I'm going to slip stitch. I'm going to pull it right back through and slip stitch. And then I'm going to just chain one because I always chain one to finish off my projects to lock in that extra space there. So I have completed, I'm going to cut that off, just a little bit of a tail. I've completed my bucket hat and I'm very, very pleased with it. So hopefully by the time this video airs, you're going to see both of these modeled by my boys. One of them's being a little painful about modeling for me, but hopefully he'll come through. Maybe I'll pay him. I don't know. But anyhow, so when we get to the end, of course, we are going to have a couple of tails to hide in. And if you already, if you're Crochet Pro, of course, I'm wasting your time here. But if you're a newbie, I would just go straight into this next stitch here. And I'll just magnify that. And I ended here, so I'm going to go into this stitch right here, straight in. And maybe it'll focus for me. So I'm going to go straight in and through the back with that. And then I'm going to work down into my hat. You can work it into the orange. Like I could come through and just work into all of this so that I'm trying, so I'm sticking with the color. And just weave it in and out a little bit until you feel like you have secured that well. And sometimes I'll go something like this where I'll just pull and pull and pull a few of these up and just come through to hide it like that. But you want to make sure that it's secure, that it's not going to come out. So after I'm done with a little bit of that, just to make sure that we have that in place, I'm going to cut it low to the hat, or I might even work it down a little further down into here, but I went ahead and just finished it off there. So I have one more tail on the inside, and this is our center. What we're going to do is work this in and secure it better. And how I work in the center is I just go around my center, that circle of stitches there. to secure that. And I will even go back. I'm going to do this one more time. I'll go back one stitch. I showed this on another video of mine, so you know if you've seen it. I'll go back one stitch before, and then I'll work forward so that this gets locked here in place right there. So it locks it even better. So you just want to hide that, pull that closed, and just secure it until you feel comfortable that that is not going anywhere. And then we're going to go ahead and cut this off. And we have finished our hat. Okay. So our second bucket hat is complete. We've got two of them now. And then you can't see these too well, so I'm going to lift this up. Hang on just a second. I have yarn all over the place here. You can't see it, thankfully, but it's there. So these are the two hats that I have completed, and I think that what I'm going to do, because I probably have enough between these two skeins left over that I can just combine it and make one more of these hats, because actually the hats are pretty fun and they look awesome. So if you pick up some Red Heart Super Saver stripes, this is a great thing to do with them. Bernat stripes would probably be just as great, but you can really make something fun here. And I hope that you've enjoyed this. If you have, please subscribe to my channel. I have so many free patterns coming out. I'm constantly working on new free patterns. And you can visit us at YarnWars.com, where you'll find all of my written patterns for free. You'll also be able to pick up the PDF downloadable file in our group, and you will be able to just hang out. It's a great place to hang out. Lots of yarn crafters over there. You're going to meet so many people, make new friends from around the world with the same interest as you in crochet, knitting, all different kinds of crafts. So visit us over on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/groups/YarnWars, or you could just like us on Facebook and just take out the groups. All of those links are down in the description below, along with some other information on this hat to help you get through a couple parts of it. But I really have enjoyed this time tonight. I hope that you have as well, and I thank you so much for joining me. Have a great evening. Thanks, guys.